So during this rebranding efforts, one of the things that I started doing was to train our clients, and we decided to open it up to the public. So that was what we did in 2015, but really a lot of things only started happening in 2016. Okay, I also train at Institute for Adult Learning. So besides training at my own agency, at SkillsFuture agency, we have some other trainers as well, but majority of the digital marketing trainings are done by me. I have one course currently with Institute for Adult Learning. I have 3 courses with Aventis, and I have 1 course with Experience. Experience is a F&B ATO, Authorized Training Organization. Okay, so how many of you are very stressed during this period of time with digital marketing, with COVID-19 happening? Maybe you can just drop in the chat that if you are stressed about something, you can think about it. You can write it down in your notepad as well. I think these are questions that we hope to go through as well at the end of the presentation. Okay, so if you're stressed, ask yourself, what is it about it that is stressful? Okay, sorry, I'm just admitting people in. All right, so next, I have 6 boxes here, and I'd like you to share with me. You can type the numbers, or you can, just type the answers out on where you are with digital marketing. Okay, so it can be digital marketing, it can be just social media marketing. You're here to learn more, you have never posted, whatever numbers that are relevant to you. Okay, so thank you, Jason. Still trying to encourage customers to Zoom. I think that is a really, really good struggle to have, actually, right? At least you are trying. I always think that at least when we try to figure out what's wrong, okay, and how we can get started. Lead generation via online, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Okay, anything else? Where are we at? Okay, more people joining. Where are you at? Number 3. Okay, posting 2 times a week. That's really good. Okay, 2 times a week is a good start. Anybody else? Everybody else in the chat, feel free to open up the chat box. You can type in your response. Where are you at in this quadrant? Number 1, here to learn more. Okay, thank you, Michael. Okay, number 3, posting 2 times a week is great. For those of you who are actually posting more than 2 times a week, you can let us know as well. Okay, great. What about number 6? Anyone is at number 6, or you have dabbled with it, tried it before? Anybody? Okay, and before I forget, at any point of time, if you would like to take a photo of any of the slides, just feel free to do that. Okay. Anybody number 6? No? Have 6 but only birthday sending. Okay. So that's how does it work for you, number 6? I hope to hear more from you later. At the end of the session, we have Q&A. Do share with us more about how the birthday greetings goes. Is there like a response? Do your customers respond to you, or not so much? Okay. So I will move to the next part. Okay, so first, I think before we get started, thank you so much for those who have responded. Okay, for the rest, I hope that to keep this interactive, so do just type in the chat box as I ask along and move along my slides. What is digital marketing? So I have a few here, and I just hope to walk us through what digital marketing is all about. Okay, so first part, digital marketing includes having a website, okay, and SEO as well. So besides having a website, if it's not searchable, people can't search for you, then it kind of is something, it's like a tool that you have, but it's blunt, right? It's like a screwdriver, but it's blunt, so you can't lock the screws into whatever that you are fixing up. Next, email marketing, social media, it all falls under digital. Blogging, some of you write well, you blog. Video marketing, all right, some trending term, they call it vlogging, right? But I prefer to call it video marketing, unless you are like a lifestyle blogger, all right? And content marketing, actually goes across the different platforms. Okay, so you can have content marketing to help you in your web presence, your SEO strategies. You can have content marketing in email marketing. You can have content strategy, content marketing on social media, and so on, and even video. All right. Last but not least, search engine optimization marketing. SEM is actually Google Ads. That falls under digital marketing as well. So this is what we know of digital marketing. Okay, so my question to you is to understand, now that we understand what digital marketing is, okay, let's define what's the problem with digital marketing. And I have five problems that I have identified. All right, there might be more, but I think these are the more urgent five that I would like to address. Okay, so the first problem is this: there's mixed messages of what we do on social media, on our digital marketing platforms. Okay, so one example would be that if we post on social media, what do we post about? Do we post about what our products and services are? And if it is, what we're expecting from it is that our customers will inquire about our products and our services with us. So that is actually considered a sales message. However, social media, if you know of the term, it's always with social media marketing, or maybe it's the term social media marketing and advertising. So there's this social media advertising, it's a boost to your marketing effort. So whatever that you are marketing, maybe 100 people see it, 500 people see it, but you can put in like $50 and then 5,000 people see it. So it's a boost to your marketing messages. So right now, a lot of us, we are confusing our marketing messages with sales messages instead. Okay, so that's the problem number one. Problem number two, we create what we want to create. So we are not looking at our audience, our customers, and we are not asking them, what is the problem you are facing? How can I help you? How can I help you understand how does insurance help you? I think everyone today joining us, you're in the insurance, in the industry of insurance. You are probably a financial advisor. Okay, so I think along the way, what I'm trying to share at least at this part is besides the problem, besides what we want to create, how can we help our customers? Okay, so I put here, why do you think this is a problem? All right, so I have another diagram that I drew and I will share it with you shortly. So problem number three, no differentiation. So we have many thousands, I believe more than 100,000, maybe even more than 200,000 insurance agents in Singapore. Okay, and how do we differentiate ourselves, right? How does our parent company differentiate themselves? Is there certain brand strategies? Are investment products your strength, or is it health? Is it savings? Is it accident plans, right? So each and every parent company will always have their strengths. The problem is, as individuals, when we represent our companies, we might not be differentiating ourselves among our peers. So let's say we talk about Prudential, Manulife, Great Eastern. When we represent, how can we differentiate ourselves from our peers? How can other people choose us rather than our peers? Or how can other people choose Prudential rather than Great Eastern or Manulife, AIA, AXA, and so on? Okay, so no differentiation, and we are not differentiating ourselves online on social media, although there's such a great importance with social media. Okay, so problem number four, we see digital marketing, social media marketing, advertising as an expense rather than an investment. So this is something that I personally will differ in how I see a website. Okay, how I see a website is I see it as a 24/7 salesperson. And is website still still relevant in current times? Okay, it's definitely relevant because we'll talk about it right now. It's relevant to what I'm saying. So I see the website as 24/7 salesperson. No matter the best salesperson that you have in your team, no matter how good a salesperson you are, you definitely need to rest, okay? Some of you might sleep lesser than 8 hours, but majority of us, we probably sleep at least 7 to 8 hours, okay? And if you think about it, a website can work for you 24/7. A website can also have a global reach. So is it still relevant in COVID-19? Unless we are saying that people don't go on Google to search for solutions, right? People don't go online to search for maybe financial literacy, financial saving strategies, and so on. Unless we are saying that right now people don't go online to search, then maybe it will be irrelevant. But if people go online to search, then it is definitely still relevant at this point of time, all right? So let me just edit one more person. Okay. So next, okay, problem number 5. Problem number 5 is that we are not understanding what a social media platform wants. Okay, so let me ask you, you can reply to me on the chat. What do you think a social media platform like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube is considered a social media platform, but it is also seen as a search engine because people go there to search. It's the second largest search engine just after Google. But help me here and let me know, what do you think as a platform, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, what do they want? Even if we talk about Snapchat, it might not be relevant to business, but as a social media platform, what do you think the social media platform wants? Anybody wanna just type and share your answers? Anybody? More users, traffic, okay? So they want more people to go onto their platform. They want you to do ads. Yeah, they want businesses to do ads, right? Okay. Anything else? They hope that you would put content out. So the question is, that's a very good point, content generation. So they want you to put content out. So what kind of content are we putting? Is it the kind of content that the social media platform wants? Okay. The social media wants branding, okay? They might want to be able to differentiate themselves. They might want to be able to stand out, okay? They want people to choose them. Okay, advertising dollars, yes. Provide values, targeted advertising, yeah. Targeted advertising is what the social media platform gives us. But what they want at the end of the day is more users, yes. Okay, they want more people to use their platform, but they also, point number 2, they want people to stay on the platform longer. So if your content helps them to do that, then they will prefer your content. Okay, so that's problem number 5 when we approach digital marketing. We do it from our own perspective. We do it with our own agenda rather than looking at a social media platform's agenda. So for example, if I know that Facebook prefers us to do live videos because they just launched an additional feature called Watch, WATCH, and they want more video content on their platform. They are competing with YouTube. So I, from a marketer's perspective, would want to do more videos, and I would want to do more live videos, and it will naturally be pushed out organically to more people. My best followers would receive a notification that I just went live. They can choose to click through to watch it, and they can bookmark it for later, and so on. Okay? So remember, problem number 5 is we are not understanding what the social media platform wants. Same thing for Google. For those of you who are doing building your own websites, doing search engine SEO efforts, you have to ask yourself, what does Google want? So what do you think Google wants at the end of the day as a search engine platform? Anybody? What do you think Google wants as a search engine? Accuracy of info, yes. More searches, more people using their search engine, yep. And it's only possible that people will come to use Google when they provide the relevancy of the search. Does it make sense? So if you try out, okay, for me, I'm quite irritated with searching on Yahoo, searching on Bing. I think the results are just not as intuitive. It's not something that I'm looking for. It's not relevant, and in the end, I spend more time searching for something. Whereas when I search on Google, usually they are giving the results of what I usually prefer. Okay, the brands that I usually prefer to read from, the accuracy of the content. Okay, so that's something to think about. If we are unable to think of what the platform wants and help them to achieve that goal, then naturally they wouldn't rank our websites, they wouldn't push out our content. Okay, so that's problem number 5. And the diagram that I mentioned earlier that I drew is this. Okay, which was problem number 2. We create what we want to create. So that is good. But we have to look at our customers. Okay, recently there's a lot of documentaries talking about Zoom. We are using Zoom right now for this seminar, this webinar. Okay, and a lot of documentaries are talking about Zoom and how Zoom actually bootstrap their business in a way where they put customers first. Okay, the founder, the CEO of the company, he actually was from WebEx. Okay, we were trying out during this whole COVID-19, even before COVID-19, we did try WebEx, but if you know the whole story of WebEx, they are not looking at a one-to-one consumer. Okay, they were looking at institutions, their audiences were different, but because of COVID-19, they have opened up to everyone. They have a free version for everyone to use. Okay, but if you tried it, it's not as intuitive, although some of the modules look the same. But what Zoom did was to put their customers first. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, what does our customer want, and what we should create in terms of content on social media, SEO, digital marketing as a whole, even in video, etc. We should be creating somewhere in the middle. It's something that you want to create, but it's also something that your customers want, they are looking for. Okay. Now, the next problem that we have, okay, and a lot of, I've been training in this social media and digital marketing topics for the last 4 to 5 years. And one of the key things, especially even with our clients when we started training them in 2013 and 14, was they actually want very quick successes. They look at likes, they look at follows, and that's the big problem here. Okay. If you don't know the issue, that's fine. But today I'm going to describe the issue to you. So hopefully you understand what the issue is when we just look at success on the surface. Okay, when we just look at likes, when we look at in life, if we just look at success, we'll never get there because there's so many other things to do. There's so many other things that we need to do to achieve success. Successful people will tell us that it requires hard work, perseverance, occasional late nights, maybe many late nights actually, discipline, habits, good habits actually, not just habits. Okay, and courage, rejections, right? If you follow startups' stories, Airbnb was rejected by Hilton and many other hotels. Netflix was rejected by Blockbuster. Okay, and these are people who persevered on and made it work. Their success was not overnight. Okay, but a lot of people assume that it was overnight. And success may need a bit of your passion and dedication, and that's something that today I also hope to address with you. Okay, why you got into insurance, and I would encourage you to start sharing about how you got started with insurance, why you got started. Okay, with insurance. Okay, so that would help you to be a better communicator on social media, on the different digital marketing platforms. Next, success in life also brings us back to success with social media and digital marketing. Okay, recently we posted this a few weeks back probably, and a lot of times people look at, I need to have X amount of likes. Hopefully I can go for the blue tick, and I have X amount of people who like our page, like our post, follow us. But at the bottom of it, it takes a lot of planning, strategy. You commit to it. You must have a to-do list that you know that you need to do so that you can get whatever that you want to get, that you think that people are paying attention to you on social media. You have to have clarity of your goals as a business on the different social media platforms. Okay, although this is designed for Instagram, but it's not just about Instagram. We're talking about Facebook, we're talking about LinkedIn and YouTube as well. Okay, so don't just look at likes, follows, views. All right, so that's my message to you. Look at the things that are underneath the iceberg. What are the things that we need to get done? All right, next. So a way to help me illustrate this and a way to put my point across is, even if we look at the best athletes who won many medals at Olympics and different competitions, okay, how do they actually train, right? They do not only train when they just look at the record that was set in Olympics. They did not look at what were the previous records and just try to break it. They train by challenging their limits. If it's 2 meters that I can jump now, I challenge it 2.1, and then they move up 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and slowly they inch up to 3 meters. And this gap, 2 meters to 3 meters, they will tell themselves, okay, I have 4 years to train, and how am I going to use these 4 years? They break down their goals, and their coach will tell them that, okay, in this 3 months we are working towards this goal, and the next 3 months we are working towards it. So not only inching and challenging your limits, you have to set goals that are achievable. You have to help yourself get there, okay? So challenge your limits, pushing and inching there, okay? So just ask yourself, how can you get there? And have a detailed outline of how you will get there. If you just tell yourself, I want to have 500 followers at the end of 3 months, but you don't break down the goals, you don't go like 500 divided by 3 equals to 100 and something followers, 150 minimally or 170, and then 170 I divide by 30 days, which means that I need at least 5 to 6, 7 followers a day. If you don't break down those goals, by the end of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and then you tell yourself what was wrong, what did I do that's wrong that I did not get there. Okay, all right. So someone is drawing on the screen. Let me just clear that. Okay, so next. Okay, you might ask next. You might ask me next, right? How can you have breakthrough in digital marketing? Well, to get breakthrough in digital marketing is to understand what are your current limits. If your current limit is 1 post a week, ask yourself, now that my limit is 1 post a week, how can I inch towards 2 posts a week? If your current limit is already 2 posts a week, ask yourself, how can I make my content better? And then you inch towards 3 posts a week, okay? So improve on the type and the quality of your content before you move forward with other goals, like improving your how often you post, right? Small steps every day, okay? Small steps every day will help you to get there. And at the end of this presentation, I just have a simple guide, a 30-day challenge that you can use to help yourself within, I think we have 5 more weeks in the circuit breaker, and that's something that we can spend a lot of our time to improve our digital presence, improve our social media presence, okay? Now, so in the chat, okay, I hope to hear from you now. What are some of the small steps that you can take? What are some of the small steps, now that we talked about how athletes got to where they are, how they train? Okay, what are some small steps that you can take? Okay, maybe you can write in the chat. Okay, so remember, small steps, all right? Not like all of a sudden you want to jump all the way here. Okay, so we have to be patient as well, because there's a lot of testing to do. Okay, and a lot of times it's not the problem with making mistakes. Making mistakes is totally fine, but we are probably always making the same mistakes, meaning we are not changing up the way that we do things on social media, digital marketing, and we are always making the same mistakes, so there's no way to improve. Okay, so what are some small steps? You can go to the chat again and share with me what are some small steps that you can do. Anybody? any small steps. Schedule the polls. Okay, so very good point. Okay, you can schedule them on Facebook. You can plan ahead, all right, with attractive contents. So what would you define as attractive? Repost legit content. Okay. Well, for me, okay, there are many people who do this, but for me, I see reposting legit content. You must in some form recreate it. Otherwise, you are driving traffic to other people. So if it's a content, say for example, it's from Straits Times, I would credit them, but I will recreate it. Either I talk about it in the form of a video presentation, or I would create a infographic post, and I would or some form of a visuals, and before I post it on social media, I will credit them. Okay, so that is my take for other contents that we might not be able to produce, research that we might not be able to do, but we still want to share with people, we still want to talk about it. Have more interactive posts. Yes, that's a very good point. Okay, so if you are already posting and you find that it's not interactive, it's not, and you would like it to be interactive, okay, ask yourself, what can you do about that post? So instead of increasing how often you post, ask yourself, how can I make it better? How can I make it interactive? How can I create conversations? Start creating conversations, right? Get connected with all my customers on Facebook and IG. Yeah, that's a very good point. So if you are already doing something, okay, I see a lot of accounts that just post, okay, I create what I want to create, which is what I said earlier. A lot of times we create a content that we want to create, but we are not creating something in the middle where our customers also want, and we create that. All right, so that's something that is missing. List down clients with web presence. What do you mean by that, Michael? List down clients with web presence. Okay, so yeah, getting connected, I do agree with Hassan. Okay, getting connected with all your customers on Facebook and Instagram. Keeping communications open, making social media a platform for them to voice their opinions and thoughts. Sometimes it might not be right, but respond to them in a way where it is okay to have their own views, right? So that's one thing that we can do. Okay, so ask yourself, what are some small steps that you can do? It doesn't need to be a very big step, all right? The problem with big steps is we get discouraged easily, we want certain things and it doesn't happen. So I always encourage people to do small steps. Okay, if you are already posting 2 times a week or even 1 time a week, ask yourself, how can I improve that content? How can I was it interaction? Fiona mentioned, yeah. Okay, being interactive. How can you create? Interactive can be in different forms. One of them is videos. One of them is live videos, right? But one thing about live videos is you might need to, if you really want a lot of engagements, right? You might need to tell them in advance, like at least 3 days in advance. Okay, or if everyone is working, we are not like staying at home, working from home. You might need a longer lead time, like a week or more than a week. Okay, so Michael, you might need to elaborate more on what is list down clients with web presence. Okay, so help me to understand what you're referring to, or what your company is doing for customers related to COVID-19. That's a very good point. In fact, I have this question and my insurance agent hasn't reached out to me yet, okay, to tell me, am I even covered? But I know that the government covers our bill. So I'm not too worried, right? But for people in the US, they do not have insurance, or people who do not have insurance, I think they are a bit more worried. But for those of you who have, even if you have 100% hospitalization coverage, I think that will still be a question that you would have at the back of your minds. So it will be interesting for me to understand from all of you that are here today, whether you have even reached out to your clients to kickstart that conversation and ask them, or even just letting them know that would you like to find out, you can ask a question. Okay, don't just tell them. Okay, I'm never for, I mean, I prefer not to just tell people, do you know that this is what we are doing? I usually prefer to ask them, do you know what maybe Prudential is doing in this situation of COVID-19? Do you know what is AIA doing, AXA, Manulife, etc.? Okay, so kickstart that conversation. Web presence, social media, I don't have the list yet. Okay, but the key thing is, if I'm understanding you correctly, okay, your clients who have social media platforms, yes, you need to ask them whether they're on Facebook or Instagram. That's a good point. And if you have, let's say you have like 50 clients or 100 clients, and 70 of them tell you that they are on Facebook, they're not on Instagram. So you might want to pay more attention to Facebook. Okay, so that's a good point. All right, I'll go to the next slide. So the key thing is small steps, but don't be too impatient. Okay, don't look at like the end of the fourth step that you probably need some strategies and plan and structure in place to reach there. Okay, so all right, so I have this story that I tell quite a bit in the webinar classes that I conduct or host. Okay, so two friends were at a party and they were just asking, whose wine glass is this? Okay, an opportunist actually comes along and hears their conversation. What do you think an opportunist would do in this situation? Anybody wanna try and make a guess here? What do you think an opportunist will do when he or she overhears this conversation? Anybody? No? Okay, what an opportunist would do is that he will just take the wine glass and he will drink the wine. Okay, so with COVID-19, it is a disruption for many people. It is something that has disrupted, I think, across all industries. But it's also an opportunity for us, right? Imagine, I would say, imagine last time you had to meet clients face to face, but right now you can actually reach them with video calls, and it's okay. It's a term that we came up with. It's called the new normal. It's okay to social distance now. So that's a great opportunity, especially for people in the industry of face-to-face meetings. So for all of you right here, okay, in insurance, it's a great opportunity for you to leverage, and you have to start creating conversations. If all the time, okay, I'm just giving you a scenario. If all the time last time, whenever you ask for an appointment, is always to review policies, then I can't blame them for avoiding your calls or something like that lah. But if you always like to start creating conversations, you create content and say like, recently I did a video and I talked about this, if you're interested, do watch it. And that's where we use digital to build that relationship, that friendship. So it's not always about reviewing your policy. It's not always about buying or informing you very important things that the agency might have launched and you might want to really share with them. But are you able to share it in a non-intrusive way, right? For me, at least, I always see it as my time as well is very precious. So you have to look in your customer's shoes. If you are really busy, especially for if you have a lot of clients who are business owners, if they are really busy, it is not a good time to meet. Okay, and no matter how you try, of course, like we try to do lunch, try to do dinner, right? Everyone needs to eat. That is definitely okay lah. But I think most of you wouldn't do that as well, because if you need to buy lunch, then that's additional expense on your end, right? So not always. So I'm not sure, but for me, my insurance agent does that because that's the only way to really catch me. Okay, changes are opportunities I just mentioned. So are you someone, maybe you're not an opportunist, but during this time, there's a big opportunity for you. So would you like to get started with digital marketing? Okay, so some view COVID-19 as a disruption, while some view it as an opportunity. So I hope that you can view it as an opportunity to build your digital presence, to build your social media presence, to find momentum during COVID-19. Okay, so don't need to worry too much if your customers are not responding well, they're not taking your Zoom appointments, right? Ask yourself, how can you create these videos or this content and then share it with them over WhatsApp, and they can consume it, but have a very catchy title lah. Okay, so now my next question is, how much will you pay for a coffee? Okay, so for coffee shop, I'll pay about $1.20. For toast box Ya Kun, I'll pay about $2.50. All right, sometimes if I upsize, it goes up to $3. For Starbucks, I'm not a Starbucks person, but Dutch Colony, right? I'm willing to pay about $6. Okay, $8 I think is a bit too pricey, but I think Starbucks pricing is about there. My venti of a Starbucks, usually I usually buy Starbucks only when I don't have a choice. Okay, there's no other coffee options near me. That's the only time I go to Starbucks. Okay, but now, why is there a price difference? It's just coffee. It's still coffee beans. Sometimes, okay, actually there's a case study on this. Starbucks actually, when they first started to give this thing called free Wi-Fi, a lot of other coffee shops, cafes, they are not giving it yet. Okay, even I think today Toastbox Ya Kun, they don't give it. They are usually located in malls. So if they are not located in a mall, usually they don't have Wi-Fi as well. Okay, if they are at some shop houses and they are not placed or positioned in a mall, okay, then they don't provide Wi-Fi. But when Starbucks started this thing, when they provided free Wi-Fi, it became a place of meeting. It's more than coffee. So they created a sense of that a place where people can meet together. They provide the environment because people need Wi-Fi to connect to their laptops to do presentations. Okay, you might have used Starbucks a lot and you might not have realized it, but nowadays, because we have a lot of data, so we just hotspot. So these things do not come, it does not matter as much now. Okay, but back then a lot of people choose Starbucks because of the Wi-Fi. Okay, all right, so now the question I asked about how much will you pay for coffee is the same thing for insurance. How much will you pay for insurance? And we know that there are some players out there that are known for being expensive. There are some that are known to be cheap, right? So maybe we can quickly run through the slides. Which are the players that are known to be expensive, and we see whether everyone's answer is actually the same. Which insurance agent? Let's talk about just normal health and accident policies. Okay, Prudential, yep. Prudential is known to be expensive. I agree as well. Okay, what about which players here are known to be cheap? Which insurance providers are known to be cheap? Income, okay. Income, okay. What about Direct Asia? Is Direct Asia not cheaper? No? Okay. Okay, what about travel insurance? I think majority of them do travel insurance, maybe not all. What about travel insurance? I think I know Direct Asia does travel, Income does travel, Liberty does travel, right? I used to buy from them because my cousin is at Liberty. So so there are certain different strategies. So what is your strategy? If you are with Prudential, a lot of times people are not that price sensitive, so they don't really bother to check. They really trust you because you are a friend or you're a referral from a friend, and so on, right? And remember, when are the different milestones that people buy insurance? It might be that they first graduate, it's time to take over policies that their parents are paying, or to review their policies so that they can protect themselves from anything, because they are probably going to be the provider of the family if their parents are old. If they have a family, maybe they want to review their policies together, and even if they have a newborn. Okay, so understand the different milestones in life. Okay, and why is that important? Is because decisions are largely made with emotions, or a certain milestone in your life, and you make a decision. Okay, so ask yourself, how can you build a connection with your new and existing customers and leverage on that platform, the digital platform, to build that emotion. Okay, all right? Just admitting another person. Okay, so how can you help your potential existing customers get to know you as well? Know your values, know who you are, know how you communicate, and also be interested in the topic that you share. Okay, I'm not going to let you watch the videos that I have, but this one is quite short, it's 15 seconds, okay? So let's watch this by NTUC Learning Hub, which I thought was really good. It's a Facebook ad. I don't think there's audio. Okay, right. So personally, I think this ad was very well done. A lot of times when we do Facebook advertising, this is what I mean. So don't tell people that you have this course and that course. Although NTUC Learning Hub does it, okay, but they have this one ad that really stood out to me, and a few things. Okay, as one, it leverage on emotions. It tells me not to learn just because of myself. Think of the bigger picture. You are learning for people who matter, right? It might be your child, it might be your family, it might be your parents. Okay, so that is building on something. Okay, so another video I just wanted to show you, but we will not watch the whole thing, is this video by NTUC Income, right? Do you all remember this? I'm sure you do. Okay, so this video, although you know it was screened a long time ago, one of the things is that I still remember it. Okay, so the power of leveraging on stories and the power of leveraging on emotions. Okay, those are very important two things that you need to remember. Right, so I'm just going to go to the next point, which I just hope to share with you, is something called the buyer's journey on the internet. So when we talk about leveraging on digital marketing platforms and strategies, we have to understand that every buyer, whether it's offline or online, will go through a buyer's journey with you. Okay, so I group them in three categories. For those of you who have joined us for our classes before, you would have gone through this. Okay, I might have shared it. I definitely would have shared it with you. Okay, the first is awareness. How can people get to know you? If currently you're only leveraging on road shows, if you're leveraging on referrals, then think of more ways for people to get to know you, because you definitely need a lot of people, like 100 new people to know you every single month, so that a percentage of them will consider you, and then a percentage of these people who consider will decide on you. So you have to put a number. If you meet 100 people a month, how many of them will consider you and how many of them will decide on you? And you have to work on something called this buyer's journey, where we usually map out with our participants who join us for our classes. Okay, and this I'm just going to let you know from my perspective and some of the things that you can work on. Okay, and this would apply to your 30-day strategy, 30-day challenge I'm going to share with you at the end as well. Okay, so for us, course content, how we write our content. So if you compare how other training agencies write their content, is bullet form and very like point form. We call it features. Okay, just like, oh, you're going to learn about segmentation, targeting, creating of ads. Okay, so in the way that we write our course content is slightly different. Our course fees might not be the cheapest out there, but we are definitely not the most expensive. Okay, for the same course, for me, I'm conducting Instagram marketing and advertising at Sky Digital Agency, and I'm also conducting it at Aventus. Okay, but there's a price difference here. Okay, our cost is $360 for one full day. For Aventis, they're charging $680, if I'm not wrong, for one day of course. So why is there a price difference? Okay, so some people, although they might know that she conducts it at her own agency and it's $360, but there's a small chance, not a very huge chance, but they may still decide to go to Aventus, and you have to ask yourself why. Okay, why would customers, what can you do so that customers will not mind paying more? Price cannot be the main consideration. Okay, trainer profile, it might be trainer profile, it might be convenience or location, it might be credibility as a brand, having regular schedules. Okay, so one of the things that if you are really wanting to learn urgently, you will not learn you probably will not learn at Aventus, because their courses are 4 times a year. Okay, for us, it's almost every single month. So except for January. Okay, so every other month we have our schedule. Video tips, that's something that we have, and a lot of training agencies does not have that. I've been surfing their websites quite regularly and they don't have it. Okay, visually appealing website, being active on social media. A lot of training agencies teach social media but are not very active on social media. Testimonials. I always believe that if it's just typed, it's not very credible. I usually screenshot it from Facebook or Google and I add it onto our website. Okay, you can share these testimonials on social media as well. All right, so the rest of the things I wouldn't talk about it, but the last point number 12, Eventbrite PTix does drive us a lot of awareness for our courses, especially for webinar. I think some of you got to know about our webinar through PTix. Okay, PTix, we have 700 followers. And PTix also usually pushes the event out to more than our followers. Okay, every follower would receive a notification on PTix, but it pushes it out to the people using PTix if they have attended similar events. Okay, Eventbrite gives us a lot of exposure as well. Some of you might have gotten to know us through Eventbrite. Now it's about your own buyer's journey. So I have some questions to help you along with it. Okay, I'm not very sure. I don't think it's comprehensive, but I'm not very sure what else that you can add on. So you will need to think about it on your end. Okay, so who you are, number one. Okay, the awareness stage may be a content where you share about who you are, or you create something that is funny and people get to know you. They click through your profile, they find out about who you are. Okay, someone on Instagram did this video that's very hilarious. Okay, if I have time later, I will open it up for you. Okay, what do you do? How can you help them? What is the problem of the customer? Okay, sometimes your customers do not know the problem that they have, so you need to explain it to them. And if it's a similar pitch that you have been doing in every single meeting with your customer, and your pitch takes about 20 to 30 minutes, imagine if you convert this content into a video. That's going to save you a lot of time, and that's going to help them to ask you how can they get started. All right, so try to think of those ways to help your customers. What is insurance all about? Believe it or not, you might think that it's a very simple question, but actually, even for us, we have to define what is digital marketing to set the common ground before you go further. Okay, so why do I need insurance? Who have I helped? Okay, and case study topics. So you can say like this customer of mine have bought insurance and this thing happened, and we cover it. Okay, I know that at one point I think I was thinking because I used to travel to third world country a lot. So I was thinking, is food poisoning covered? I think there was, I seldom get food poisoning, but there was once that I got food poisoning, and I was just wondering when, but I did not go. My friends didn't want me. I was in Indonesia, so my friend said, you know, you shouldn't go to the doctor, you shouldn't go to the hospital. And in Indonesia, they Gojek everything. So he was in another part of Indonesia. I was in Bandung for a meeting last year, and so he ordered medication to be delivered to me. So, and then I took the medication, and 2 days later, I flew back to Singapore, right? So then after that, I went to see the doctor. But these are questions that people would have. Will you be covered? Okay, because majority of the times, right, sometimes maybe it happens with, it doesn't happen often, like for example, like bee sting, all that. Those are, if it's covered, you should let your customers know, right? So they might be even searching for these topics, or they might have it behind their minds, but they don't communicate it out. They might feel that if I ask this, do I sound silly? So help them out, help your customers out. Okay, so all right, so I'm just left with a few more slides, about 10 slides. Okay, we are at 8:25. I think I just need about 10 more minutes to finish up, and then we'll take your Q&A. But so far, any questions about the buyer's journey on the internet, you can just type in the chat. If you are good, everyone is good. Okay, some of you are sending a private message. Okay, so just do a reply all just in case. All right, is everyone good? All right. Good. Okay, so Next. All right, so next, now, how can we get started? Okay, creating social media and digital marketing content. Some people would like to tell me, some people tell me rather, that it takes too much time. Charmaine, you know, a post might be okay, but if I need to create a video, it takes so much time. And they will usually ask me how much time I take on my videos, right? So sometimes it takes me just an hour and a half. Sometimes it takes me 4 to 6 hours. Okay, so people will tell me it takes too much time. I usually have some suggestions for them. I say, maybe what you need to do is see from a different perspective. How I see it when I create video contents is, if I always get this question a lot, it takes me 20 to 30 minutes to walk a person through these questions. If I convert it to a 30 minutes video, I spend maybe 6 hours creating it. I think through the content, I create the presentation slide, and I record it, edit it, put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook. Maybe it takes me 6 hours. So I ask myself, I try to see it from a different perspective. If 100 people see this, if 100 people inquire and 100 people see my video, I would have saved 3,000 minutes. And if I divide it up by 60 minutes, I save about 50 hours with just 100 people watching this video. And I think that is definitely good because it can also drive me organic awareness. Okay, so number one, that's what you can do. See from different perspectives, see from a different lens. Okay, so put on a new lens, ask yourself what is that different lens that you can put on. Okay, and I always see it as, I always try to see it, I don't purposely see it for the sake of seeing it, but I genuinely want to save certain things that are repetitive, and I want to save that time. Okay, so, and maybe another way is you can list down this mindsets that you have. Okay, it takes too much time, and ask yourself, how can you see it from a different perspective? Okay, some people like to call it a fixed mindset and growth mindset, so you can use this analogy as well. Okay, if a different lens is a bit hard, ask yourself, fixed mindset is to think of the problem. Okay, this is the milestone, but a growth mindset will be asking, okay, but I can help my customers, and how much time it's going to save me. Okay, digital marketing, is it a sprint or marathon? Okay, majority of you, I hope your answer is a marathon, right? It is definitely not a sprint, because no one actually said that success on digital marketing means this, this, and this. Okay, it's definitely a marathon. The more awareness, the more eyeballs you get, that's where you get more recognition in what you are doing. You get more organic awareness. Okay, one analogy that I just thought of today when I was preparing these slides is, remember when we were children. Okay, I hope that most of you can remember when we were kids. We used to play games, and we used to lose games to our siblings, to our cousins. Okay, but the question is, did we stop playing the game? Some children, yes, they totally stop playing the game, but usually our parents would encourage us, or a majority of the time, there are many cousins. For me, I have a lot of cousins. So we don't stop, but we get better each time. Okay, so we don't stop playing, and that's where we get better. But don't make the same mistakes. If there's a certain way that you were playing in the previous game and you lost, and you play it the same way, then we are always going to lose the game. Okay, so as kids, or when we are playing games, we are always playing it differently. If you didn't realize it, actually we do that, and that is how we beat that even tic-tac-toe, right? You will not always start from the corners if you have lost it the previous round. You will try something else, and you try to beat the other player. Okay, a game of chess. Okay, the more you practice, the better you get at it. I can tell you very frankly that if I play with one of my cousins who's really good at it, because he played it since young, I have never won him in a game of English chess, but with Chinese chess, I have a chance. Okay, so I have a chance with it's a Chinese chess. All right, so make time for social media and digital marketing. I used to share this as make time for your business, but right now I think COVID-19, there's a great opportunity. We save, even if you say like COVID-19, but I still have a lot of work to do, I still need that 9 hours, but now we save time in travel. I think majority of us, if you drive, you save at least 1 hour, half an hour to the place, right? Because even if you drive 30 minutes, you need 5-10 minutes to find parking. And you still save an hour a day. So how can you put that time into social media and digital marketing? Okay, and even if you rest on weekends, all right, just 2 hours a day, one of that hour is actually from your travel, and or maybe even 2 hours for majority of us. We save 2 hours on traveling. That a total of 720 hours invested in digital strategy. Okay, now 4 ways to gear up. Okay, which I might have covered a bit, but I'll just recap this. Think of ways that you can help and value add to your potential existing customers. Either weigh in and identify their biggest problem and try to either amplify the problem or communicate that problem. Number 2, start creating conversations on social media. We actually have a video on this that we did on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. We recorded a new one, edited it, and put it out on YouTube. Okay, point number 3, let me just exit my full screen. Point number 3, talk or share about our business. Okay, only 10 to 20% of the time. So 80% of the time, we talk about contents for our audience, contents for our customers, potential or existing. Turn up at least 3 to 5 times a week. Okay, this is something that eventually you can work towards too. One thing is, if you, I wouldn't pay too much to how much you can how often you can post on Facebook, because posting too much doesn't help you on Facebook, because the organic reach is at all-time low. Even for us, we have 570 followers. The organic reach is only 5%. We are only reaching like 25 to 50 people most of our posts. So we really have to depend on a advertising budget. So majority of the time, we at least boost it for $3 a day for 7 days. And if it performs better than usual, we add more money in. If it doesn't perform that well, we just kill that ad. We don't put in any more money. All right. So that's what we do. Okay. So that's point number 4. All right. Let me see. Okay. So not only doing things differently, we need to think differently. We need to communicate our unique selling points digitally and also on social media. Or so there's another saying. Okay, there's someone who said this. I can't remember where I heard it from. But when we chase the cat runs away. So think of some ways that you can attract the cat to you. Okay, so ask yourself, what can you hold? Is it a snack or is it a fish? What is it? Okay, and digital is one of them. Digital is one of the tools that you can use to attract people to you. The only problem that we have is probably what kind of contents we need to create. Okay, another analogy I have for you is about 2 friends being in a jungle and a tiger actually appeared. So the question is, the question the friend A has for the other friend is, do you think we should make a run for this? Okay, should we run away? Should we try to run? And then the friend replied, yes, I think we should run. But the first thing that the friend did was to bend down and tie his shoelace. Okay, so then the friend looked at him and say, why are you tying this? The tiger is going to eat you. So what did the friend reply? The friend actually said that I don't have to run faster than the tiger. I just need to run faster than you. Okay, so that's the whole point to digital marketing. You don't need to run super fast. You just need to run faster than at least some people. There should be some people that are not doing it yet, which I believe there are many. So you can get started with this. All right. So I have a social media post that is already on our Instagram. You can take a closer look, but I'll just briefly talk about the different platforms. LinkedIn, Facebook. Okay. You can read up about it, but I'll talk about the audience that are on it. Okay. So actually this LinkedIn audience is quite surprising as well, but majority of my connections are actually 35 to 54. So I was quite surprised that LinkedIn actually put 25 34. I'm not sure whether they asked the age or maybe a lot of people didn't fill in the age, but apparently this is the stat. But ask yourself whether or not they are regular. They might have a LinkedIn account, but if they're not regular on LinkedIn, then might have no point in creating contents on LinkedIn. Okay, this is Facebook, right? There's 34.4% age 25 to 34. That's about 1.5 million Singaporeans. 35 to 44, there's about 22.3%. So that's about 990,000, almost a million. Okay, so ask yourself whether your audiences are on this platform. So someone mentioned it actually in the chat earlier. So that's a good point. Ask where your customers are on. If out of 100 customers, majority of them are on Facebook, pay attention to Facebook first. Okay. Now, Instagram and YouTube. Okay, so Instagram and YouTube basically, I think, is the crowd is younger, but it depends on you really. If your audiences are people who just graduated, which they really need to review their policies that they have. They might need to take over certain policies. Maybe their parents did not buy policies for them. These are definitely topics that you can talk about to create your digital contents. Okay, now what about YouTube? Okay, so I was watching got a little bit distracted today, so because I was watching something else, but this video popped up because we didn't subscribe, but it was suggested. Okay, probably due to previous videos that I watched. So this guy amazingly, he creates videos about fishing, about his adventures. He stays in Australia, and he just films it, right? So my question to you is, what do you think the opportunity, what do you think he can get by doing all these things? And eventually he grew his subscribers to 1.77 million subscribers, and that's a lot. He managed to, at that point when he quit his job, his full-time job, he actually haven't built such a big audience yet, but it just exploded. Okay, so actually he got a lot of sponsorships for different things. Okay, and if you think about it, if I am a business who does fishing rods, I would send it to him and ask him to test, and I'll pay him to test it, or I would do something for him. Okay, so that's what social media has turned into. So what can you do with these social media platforms, and what is the 3-step back that you can take and ask yourself, what is something that I can take out of this, and what is something that I can eventually do, okay, with these social media platforms? All right, so don't give up too early. Remember what is success about. Okay, if you give up too early, that money pool might just be at the bottom, but you gave up too early, so you put the shovel down, and you just decided not to be as frequent. You stop turning up on social media, you stop doing your digital marketing efforts, right? Sometimes you might want to celebrate small milestones. Okay, there's a lot of currencies here. There's euros, pounds, Sing dollars, yen. There's Bitcoin at the bottom, but it got cropped off. But what is the small milestones that you can celebrate, rather than just looking at the big milestones? Okay, it can be that all of a sudden, when you start asking questions, people start replying, dropping you a comment, dropping you a direct message. Okay, those are small milestones to celebrate, and those are things that you want to look at what you've been doing, that you're getting these results, and want to amplify on the results. Okay, now ask yourself these 2 questions as well. What can you do, or where can your customers find you? Okay, and how can you get started? Okay, remember to take small steps. Okay, so before we end, okay, these are the different social media platforms. Okay, so you can let me know which is it you will be getting started with. Okay, and that will help me to reply or to share the 30-day challenge in a more accurate way. Okay, otherwise I will just share it from Facebook and Instagram's perspective. Okay, anybody, is there any platform that you would be paying more attention to? Facebook and YouTube, Jason? Okay, so if you are getting started with videos, you're getting started with video editing, one of the things that I always look at, YouTube at least, is that even though you have a small audience, it's fine, because you are just improving on your video editing skills. Okay, so don't look at like how many views and all that. Look at what are some other ways I can approach my video contents. All right, so that's okay, LinkedIn, right, email marketing. Okay, so Facebook. Okay, Facebook stands out from all 3 responses. So I will share from Facebook and hopefully a bit of YouTube's perspective. Okay, so the 30-day challenge is really about a plan. Okay, a strategy, a digital marketing strategy. Number 1, you must first choose a social media platform. I wouldn't recommend you to choose more than 1 for this 30-day challenge. So choose 1 platform. If it's Facebook, just go with Facebook. If it's Instagram, go with Instagram. I made some suggestions here, partly because for Facebook, the organic reach for any type of image videos that you post is low organic reach. Currently, we are at 5 to 10%. Okay, we used to be slightly higher just a few months back, but it has dropped. I think many people are creating content on Facebook right now. But one of the things that we started doing was when the circuit breaker started, we started doing live videos, and that has performed very well. And we do a bit of collaboration with other people where we go through our slides, but it is also cross-posted to their page. Okay, so that's something that we are doing, and it has garnered a lot of views and attraction and eyeballs on them. Okay, whenever we cross-post to another company's page, the views double. Instagram, I would recommend for you to look at high quality images. Okay, if you really want to get started, okay, there's this platform where pexels.com, okay, where you can go and get high quality photos. Okay, commercial free, don't need to credit. So just go to the website. You must use, I recommend for you not to use Internet Explorer. I think it doesn't work very well. So I think Chrome or Firefox, this website would work okay. All right. So number 2 is to plan a 30-day content. Use the 5 Ws and 1 H. Who, what, when, where. I think usually we don't really use where, but how. Okay. Ask yourself these questions that I've put out earlier. Okay, if you want to take a screenshot, where's the buyer's journey? Okay, I came out with some questions with that guideline, okay, to create content. So you can take a screenshot of this and use this as a guide to creating your content, okay? So once you've planned out 30 days worth of content, of course, you don't have to post every single day. You can then spread it out. So if you plan for 30 days, if you take 2 or 3, maybe hopefully 2 days to plan out a 30-day content, just ideas, then you get started on designing it. Once you're done designing like the 10th or 14th post, okay, start scheduling it, meaning that post at least 2 times a week, okay? Get down to creating those contents, okay? So we have 5 more weeks of circuit breaker. You should be able to complete this 30 days and scheduling all of them before the circuit breaker ends, actually, if you come up with a calendar plan, okay? Usually for this 30-day challenge, you break it down to 30 days, but after the 10th and 14th post that you are already done creating in terms of designing or writing, you can start scheduling them. So that builds that momentum, okay? And it gives you more ideas for your other posts as well. Okay, be consistent in having a plan. So if you are posting at 9 o'clock, stick to 9 o'clock. But if you're still testing the time, just test it a few times. Don't need to test forever. And then just go with a certain time. Okay, don't look for quick successes. Stay focused on your reasons for being online and going digital. Think of how you can help your customers. That's number 1. Okay, people do not care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay, have an advertising budget. This is something that is really important, whether or not Facebook or Instagram, because the organic reach, although Instagram is triple or even more than triple than Facebook, but it's still not great. Okay, if you ask me, every content, if I spend so much time creating it, at least more than 1,000 people should see it. Okay, and right now, $10 would give you will push it out to at least 1,000 people. Okay, previously before COVID, it was slightly lesser than 1,000, but right now you would hit 1,000 to 2,000 people with a $10 budget. Okay, but the minimum budget is $1 something, but I recommend you to go for $2 to $3 a day, preferably $3 a day, and more than 4 days. So that will work out to about $12. Okay, so yeah, social media is still cheap. Okay, before we end, so just remember to choose a social media platform, not more than 1. Try to get some momentum and success with this platform. Share your why you got started. I think I've never heard any insurance agent share this before. Maybe in a face-to-face, but digitally I have never heard or seen them. Usually they want to hear from the customer's perspective, but I thought it's quite interesting if you have a story to tell. Okay, share who you help, how it works. If you are able to share about it online, not just social media, but create it as a video case study, and you can share it wherever relevant. Okay, write a to-do list, break down your goals down to monthly, weekly, and your daily goals. All right, so that's all I have for you. Okay, every day, okay, before we end, every new day we have a choice. All right, so we have a choice to do something, and during this circuit breaker is a great opportunity for many people to leverage on digital. Okay, so I'm actually done with my presentation. We exceeded by 15 minutes. Thank you so much for staying through. I think some people left, but yeah, now I can take your questions. Okay, Hassan, you can go first if you have any.
Thank you so much, Charmaine. As I said to you, every time that when we discuss, I really learn a lot of good tips from you for my own business. I think that's why that when we discussed, we created this events, because quite a few of my friends in the insurance industry and yours as well, they're asking all these questions. So I'm hoping that everyone who is here tonight is picking up a lot of good tips, a lot of things they can take away and actually take action on it. So thank you. Before I said my questions, I think there's Fiona. She just talked about, she just started a Facebook business page, and that prompted me to ask a question as well. Is so for Facebook, what are the differences between a business page and a personal page?
So the difference between a personal and Facebook page is, I mean, the biggest difference is that if you post on your personal page, you cannot advertise. Okay, so although you might have 3,000 friends, you don't know who saw your post. So I never actually really like to just leverage on organic. I usually would promote my posts. It's just that for us, a lot of our videos, because we talk about Facebook, we talk about Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram doesn't allow us to promote those kind of content. But other than that, any other posts that we create, we will always promote it, so long as there is no Facebook or Instagram logo. So very purposefully, actually, I try not to use their logo throughout this whole presentation. We hope to promote it actually we are still thinking about it, but we are very likely going to post it somewhere, and probably just edit the parts out where there's Facebook, Instagram logos. But yeah, if you design something, just remember, don't put Facebook or Instagram logos on your post. Even if it's your handle, they don't allow those kind of posts to be promoted. Okay, so that's the key difference. You can't advertise if you're using your personal profile page. Second difference is there's no insights, so you don't know how well your posts reach. You can only see how many people like your posts, which are mostly your friends majority of the time. You don't know organically which one did better. So sometimes you might be surprised. You might see between two posts, one actually had 5 likes and the other one only had 1 like, but actually the 1 like reached more people. Okay, there were more views. So you don't have all those insights when you use your personal Facebook page.
Hi, Charmaine.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Charmaine. I got a question. So in our industry, right, insurance industry, it's tough to have digital campaigns because, okay, first of all, compliance will have a say in what's going to be posted, what video, what script, and how the content is being angled, and that kills a lot of time actually. For example, from the point of time I, let's say, put up an idea, and then I design an ad, I do a video, I do a script, I have to send for compliance for vetting. So maybe you can share with us your experience. Have you done any campaigns for insurance agencies? And how was the process? How was the flow like? Going through compliance, vetting, everything.
Okay, so I will answer your question, but how do I address you?
Hi, my name is Marcus.
Marcus, okay.
Yes.
So Marcus, basically there are a few things. Yesterday I also asked during the webinar for property agents, I asked them the same question. Why is it, I asked them this question, I asked the property agents this question, why is it that every time when you have a property launch, I ask them, and then you advertise about your property, okay, why not brand yourself as the property expert? So why not create content such that you are the guru, you are the person to go to when it comes to property? Same thing for insurance agents. I think there is some value in creating contents for your insurance parent company that you are attached to, that you I don't think you all work for them, right? But you all like represent their policies in that sense, and you get a cut commission base. So my question to you is, why not brand yourself as the financial expert? Does it have to? Do you need to share about your policies? In fact, I will share with you that we don't do retainer clients for insurance and property. We only train, we only teach. The reason why we don't do that is because it's a long story, but our audience are a bit different. We don't look at just don't look at just advertising. So a lot of property and insurance agents, when they come to us, they're just looking at advertising, and we don't do that. I mean, we don't do solely that. It must be some form of a strategy. Okay, so yeah, so that's my question to you. Why not brand yourself from the perspective of certain topics? It can be as fundamental as, if you are going to talk about finance stuff, it can be as simple as how does compound interest look like? You know, you don't really have to look at the returns and this is the exact policy, but if you would like to find out more about how you can start investing very little money that you have, reach out to me. So I always see, which is one of the reasons why I'm quite inclined to do all these talks, is to address this issue, and hopefully this recorded thing would reach more people and more people can understand what digital marketing is supposed to be about. It cannot be that I have a certain product and I market and I advertise about it and people would just come knocking at my door and pass me money. It doesn't work that way. But if you brand yourself as the expert in the subject, or rather you might not brand yourself as the expert, but as you start sharing, you'll be surprised how many people actually appreciate that kind of content, and that helps them to walk through a certain journey with you. And we call that the buyer's journey. Whether offline or online, there's always a journey the customer has with you. But when it is online, we have to pay more attention to what we have to map it properly as to how their journey is with us.
Understand.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Okay, so Charmaine, another question, sorry. Okay, so what advice do you have for someone who started late and then right now, maybe just 5 days into the new Facebook page, there's only maybe like 20, 30 followers?
Okay, so for Facebook, right? Firstly, just plan out your content. Okay, for Facebook, number one, I think plan out your content first. Okay, there were already some questions that I shared earlier that you should put them into the type of contents that you create. And then as you script it out, okay, go for Facebook Live videos. Okay, if you have 20 and 30 followers, it's actually a good start to share certain topics and ideas that you have and ask them what other things you are curious about. You can even list out the things that you have brainstormed and ask them to vote. The top voted one will be your next video. You can do it like, either you do it 2 times a week or you can do it once a week. That's going to get traction. And so long as you don't have a Facebook or Instagram logo on your presentation slide or your video that you record, you can actually promote it. And I highly encourage you to promote your content to get more eyeballs. Okay, at the start you would find that you might not get the traction that you want, but at least you get started somewhere. All right, so Facebook Live is probably the way forward for
Understand. So you're saying that, okay, let's say for example, Fiona mentioned that she's just started her Facebook page and probably for a start, maybe there's only like 5. So we should post content first and then try to attract more eyeballs, or we should wait until there's a sizable amount of followers, then we start to post content, which is, I mean, like the chicken egg thing.
So for those of you who are like literally new, or okay, if you have already existing audience, you can start. And I think the thing to go for is Facebook Live, at least one Facebook Live every week. Okay, and if you don't have an audience yet, you need some form of a content up there. Okay, it can't be like totally blank. Nobody will follow your page unless your friends are friends who know you. They wouldn't mind following you. But the engagement that you want is probably not from your friends, unless you are saying that the kind of contents contents that your friends can watch, then that's a bonus for you. All right. So I think why I suggested to at least plan and so that you have an idea. The thing that we see a lot when people just start, right, then they get stuck after the 10th post. They have no more ideas. So we want them to brainstorm the ideas for 30 days, because then they build the momentum. So they get more creative as they start posting. They realize that, hey, maybe this topic I can improve on it further in this manner. So that's what we encourage you to do. But if you have zero content, it's a brand new page, you definitely need some contents up there. Maybe not live, because live has to be pushed up to a small following and then it grows and then you promote. Maybe what you can do is get some, you can do a live video, but there might not be any audience, but then after that you share it with potential customers. Okay, you can just copy the link and say, hi, how are you doing? By the way, are you wondering whether whether you are covered under COVID-19, or what are some of the things that we cover during COVID-19? Or maybe you can opt in for certain things to be covered during COVID-19. So these are videos that if you create and it's helpful, people click on it, people watch, then they decide to follow you. That, I would say, is a better way to build. It's better to have 10 very engaged audience than 100 non-engaged audience.
Okay, can.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks, Charmaine.
Yeah. Just sharing my own experience. I invited my friends from Facebook personal for a start. Has got more than 30 followers before I did my first post. That's great, Fiona. Do you have any other questions? That's a great start. And I always encourage, in fact, majority of the courses that I conduct, even with other ATOs, majority of them, except for experience, ATO, the threshold is lesser. But majority of them, I'll say that if they don't have 40 likes or follows yet, I think joining the class is going to be very difficult. It's going to be uphill. So if they can organically find ways to get that 30 and 40, I think they are serious about it, number one. And number two, they will get more success because they really want to make it work. So that is usually the prerequisite that I have with many, especially overseas training that I conduct. I do set it as a criteria. Okay, so 30 is a good start. Before I did my first post, yeah. And hopefully you are planning to do live. It doesn't have to be a video of yourself. You can actually, what you can do is like me, right? A lot of my live videos, actually, I just design some slides and I present it and I share it from that perspective. But if you are expecting or you hope to have a live audience, you have to probably do it. We tried lunchtime, it wasn't that good. So 9 o'clock seems to work best for us, and up to 9:30. Okay, any other questions? I see other people who have joined us as well, those who are here. Eric, Evelyn, Simon, Jude, Paul. Anyone else have any other questions? Feel free to ask. I think I really want to share from my perspective how you can get started, because COVID-19 is definitely a good opportunity, and I definitely hope that everyone can ride it out to be better after this COVID-19 situation, right? I know a lot of people are struggling, but hopefully there are some pointers that you can take back to create and get started.
Charmaine, so I have this this perspective. So I look at some of the questions that came up just now, and then so for example, one of the participants was asking, okay, trying to get clients to do Zoom, or when you're not doing Zoom, I want to turn around the table to ask the agents now. So when you meet up with your clients, so what do you talk to them about? Or when you first pick up the call saying that I want to arrange meeting, what do you want to talk about? You spend maybe half an hour, 45 minutes talking to your clients. What do you actually talk about? Some part of that maybe is something you convert it into an online content, like what Charmaine was talking about. do a Facebook Live. Maybe that is something you can consider, because I can understand that you might think, okay, yeah, doing content is one thing, but what kind of content can I share? Should I share? But if you're spending a lot of time with clients, I'm sure some parts of those meetings are quite similar. That means those content can be shared in the public as well. And those, that's what I think. But I want to throw it out back to the agents. What do you think? What do you share with the clients that you think you can share online?
I think that's a very good question, and like I mentioned, right? It's the same. Like a lot of our clients or potential clients who ask us for a meeting, usually it's about the same things, which is you know, we could have addressed it, done it more effectively, um, uh, uh, help them out prior to the meeting, so that they kind of already pivoted to kind of already decided with you. The problem is actually a lot of times when people take out that 1 to 2 hours to meet up with an insurance agent, it's actually very precious, you know. If you ask me, if my client wants to meet me, I usually say 45 minutes. That's about it. Yeah. And within 45 minutes, if they are still having a lot of questions, I don't think that customers fits our profile, partly because we have so much content online that it's free for them to consume. But if they kind of prefer to meet us or ask us the question, then it's kind of like a demographic that is harder to get started. So they have many barriers to address. So that's one of the reasons why we go digital. So you have to ask yourself, what are some ways you can go digital? What are some conversations that always happen? And social media is one of the ways to get started with those conversations, catching up. Okay, and okay, Jason mentioned something. I think about Hassan's question and share it in the chat. But Jason has this question. My personal experience was from 400 followers and I posted 3 to 4 posts per week. Then it increased to 1,500 in 5 months. But the likes is still quite low. Okay, so your question is, why is likes so low? Am I right, Jason? Okay, if that's your question, I'll answer it. Likes, be it on Facebook or Instagram, is going to be usually, okay, on Instagram you have a lot of likes, but we consider likes low and lowest of all engagement. What you want is really people to comment, to drop a comment, to share it, or to save that content. Whether they like it or not, it's not going to really push it very much organically in terms of the reach. Okay, so I think the key to this is not so much of how much likes, but one of the things that maybe you are posting, I mean, we can take a look. You can share your Facebook link with me privately, and I'll check it out and I'll let you know. But I think one of the things is whether or not you are asking them, you know, consistently, what do they think, and also give leeway. So if I'll just share my Instagram. Okay, one of the things that we usually do is we will ask. Okay, so for example, this one, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so even though we posted about what success is, okay, right, on day 7 of circuit breaker, right? So we asked, we didn't ask basically okay. Usually we did ask, okay. Usually we do ask what other things do you think that we should add it in, okay. But we do have followers who would respond, right? Vince Zesty, he's a Muay Thai coach. So he says, add in opportunity. Success comes to those who are prepared. And I totally agree with this point, okay? But the previous one, we definitely did ask. Okay, this one. Okay, what else should be? Oh, okay, we didn't ask as well. Yeah, but usually we do ask, okay? We do ask what else do you think should be added in? Okay, so that's how we can keep that conversation open, meaning that it's not just a full stop that you are putting, but you are posting something to create that conversation for them to respond to you. Otherwise, if you're just posting and informing, then it's like, you know, when you talk to your kids, right? Sometimes you tell them, I bought lunch for you. Sometimes you might not get a reply from them, you know. But if you ask them, are you hungry? Do you want lunch? Then they will respond, right? So it's the same thing for social media. If you actually approach it from the perspective that you're just informing and telling people, then you will not get any response. But if you ask them questions, what other videos would you like us to create? Which topic are you? You just don't need to list out like 14 ideas, you know. So list out 3 or list out 5 ideas, ask them to vote, and it's best that you create those kind of content that they are interested in. Okay, so yeah, Jason, I'll take a look at your Facebook page. Thank you for the link. Okay, so that's my take. I think likes, definitely, if it's possible to get likes, but first you need that really engaged group of people or audiences that would that really enjoy your content. So I would say don't look at the number of followers. So if you have 1,500, how many of them will each post reach? And from that reach, is it a convenient time for them to respond? Is it a convenient time for them to read your content, to engage, to find out more? I think that's very important. Okay, although even like we say a lot, right? Lunchtime, a lot of people are using social media, but lunchtime might not be enough time for them to respond to you. Might not be enough time for them to think through. Like if you ask me, it might not be enough time for them to consume our content, because firstly, they have to get over with lunch. They only have 1 hour, right? Most of us, I don't think we'll take more than 1 hour. We can't eat outside. We can't, enjoy whatever dining experience that is available now. But we usually eat at home. So usually we get done over it very fast. And the time usually where people have is after dinner. And that's when they have more time to consume and get back to you or drop a comment, consume your content. Of course, it really depends on the content, but I'll take a look at it, Jason, and I will send you a message on your page as well after I take a look at it, okay? But I'll probably record my feedback over this, some form of a video, and I'll send it to you. Okay, any other questions? I think we still have 12 people with us.
Thank you.
Okay, what about Hassan's question? Anybody?
I got a message, guys. Please ask. But I know that maybe something is also in your head as well. I'm making an assumption. If I'm wrong, just correct me. If you're making content and putting it online, are you afraid of people copying it? And if that is the case, I want to throw it to Charmaine. You're the expert. People are copying content, but I mean, this could be stopping a lot of agents sharing content online. But what can they do?
So I get this question a lot as well, and I think a lot of property agents, they have very good pictures, and I always encourage them that I don't see anywhere in their post. I always encourage them to bring it to the social media platform. So one of the things is, firstly, you can choose to report it, meaning that if someone copies your graphic, okay, number one, try to protect it. Okay, if you look at my screen, right, all our posts always have our logo, no matter what we create, even if it's just a simple quote. Okay, the thing is, number one, you have to protect your post. If you make it so easy for people to lift up, then of course they will lift it up, because some people are just lazy in creating contents, right? But if you are consistent, you put time, you put effort in creating your contents, people who are following you would see it. That's number one. Number two, you can actually report it. Facebook, Instagram, and many other social media platforms, they are creatives as well. A lot of them who are employed on those platforms, they are creatives as well. So they value this IP and creative rights. So when you report it, they will ask you for some proof, which you just need to screenshot when you actually posted the original content and when did they post it on theirs, and then you submit it, and they would actually bring their account down if they have violated more than once. Okay, so we did that to one other agency. I don't know whether you all know this other agency. It's called Far East Agency. They do digital marketing training for property agents. That was 3 years ago. So they lifted our content in 2017, I think. And then we reported, and their account went down. So that's another approach that you can have. The third approach that you can have, which I am more for now, is I look at it as at least people are paying attention. They might be copying, it might not be a good thing. I will usually write to them. I will usually drop a comment and say like, I will appreciate if you can drop a credit tag that, you know, I'm the original creator. If they delete my comment, that's when I report it, or I just leave them be. Because some people, if they are like that, then they can never get far because their ideas are never original as well. So the third perspective that I usually have is at least people are paying attention. And I can tell you, you see our followers are 673. I know those accounts that actually copy our content. I can easily just scroll through, and there are a few that I definitely can remember that they copy our content. And I think right now we are okay with it because I think we try our best to protect, number one. Number two, I think some people just don't know. Okay, so if it really bothers you, you can report it to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, so that's my take.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Fiona has got a question.
Yeah, will you suggest consistency in posting for all of your social media platforms? You mean consistency, you mean the same content, right? Okay, same content is actually not, I don't consider it consistency. Same content means it's a replicate of content. Okay, so I'll give you a very quick example. For Instagram, because videos doesn't work very well, meaning any video that I post, I'll probably only get like 40 to 50 views. For our IGTV, if you look at it, 59 views, 54, 41, 67, 55, 52, 82, okay? So basically the views are not great considering our following. So if I look at Facebook, what I usually do now is I either prepare a slide or I go to my Instagram account and I record a video and I talk about it. So that is what we call repurposing of content. So that I will consider a bit of consistency because you are elaborating, and that gives people additional value to follow you because it's not a same. Why would people follow you on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube if it's all the same content? Probably will not follow, if you ask me. Very rarely they will follow you on all three or all four different social media platforms if you are posting the same. So we never do that. We probably might pick the best performing carousel post and we post it on our Facebook business page, but that is because just for the record, it's not so much to expect like high organic reach or what, but of course if there's high organic engagement, high organic reach, then we'll have to look at it like, how come this did well on Facebook? Was it something, did Facebook change the algorithm? So never stop 100% even though something's not doing well. Okay, so that's definitely for sure. I can show you that our videos are, okay, let's see. Okay, our videos typically, okay, you can see 56 views. We couldn't promote this because Facebook logo was inside. This one also same thing. Somehow Facebook logo got in. I already did not, it was about MailerLite. I don't know. I think, oh yeah, the ebook was about Facebook and the logo was inside. So we couldn't promote this. So 60 views. But look at our live videos. 82, 105, 201. This is definitely promoted, right? 154, 122. Okay, this one was because of the time. So the time wasn't great when we did this live. 81 and 90. This was 100. Okay, you can see this is a video. This is a more accurate view. So these are normal videos we posted, 22, 29. But look at the live videos, at least 4 times better. So and if you ask me, it's either a presentation slide that I prepared or I went directly to Instagram and I talked about the post and I elaborated more. I think I did it for some of the posts. We did not do for all, but we will work towards that direction, and I think that is better. Okay, instead of just posting the same graphic on Instagram, on Facebook, I would recommend for you to find out what is a Facebook carousel post, number one. Okay, if you scroll through our feed, you will see a scrolling type of post. That's what we call a Facebook carousel post, because when people click through, they can actually schedule an appointment with you. Okay, I just want to add on, there are a few ways that you can schedule appointments. There's an app called Calendly. Okay, Calendly. Okay, Calendly. Okay. You can try it out. Okay, it's a free. I think they still have a free account. I hope they do. So you can try it out. Okay, one calendar per user. Yeah. Okay, I think they still have so when you do posts like carousel posts on your Facebook, you can link people to. So there's 5 graphics that you can post. The 5th post should be would you like a 30 minutes free consultation? Then they can click through and you can schedule some of this appointments on Calendly, and you don't need to put a full day, right? Put your best time like after lunch or whatever. Maybe just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they get some options to book an appointment for that consultation with you, right? So that's one way. Okay, these are carousel posts. This is what I mean by carousel posts. Okay, when you click on the image, it will bring you to the website. All right, so your last image or your 3rd image, minimally 2 graphics. Your 3rd image should be an appointment. It can be Google Forms, but I think Calendly looks better. All right, so that's consistency in terms of the themes. You mean in terms of the approach in design? You mean the approach in design? Insurance as a topic. Okay, I did share this. It doesn't have to be all about insurance, but partly because our account is a business account, so we don't really talk about our personal lives on it. But if you're comfortable, add another as investment. Only if you think that it's relevant and it's something that eventually you provide as a service, right? If I start talking about TikTok, but I don't provide it as a service, that might be a bit inconsistent unless it's really urgent that you address it due to some misconceptions to address about the platform. But only if you are providing it as a service, you can talk about insurance, you can talk about investment, if that's a service that you also provide. So yes, it should be consistent in the theme. So all of a sudden, if you're going to talk about holidays, that's going to be a bit confusing. Or all of a sudden, you're going to talk about shoes, what kind of sports shoes to choose. That's possible if you're going from a personal branding kind of perspective, which I think a lot of property and insurance agents do. I think that's fine because it's your personal brand. Okay, but it depends on whether your audience really are interested or not. I think that's the key thing to ask yourselves. Okay. Any other questions? No problem, Fiona. All right. So think about the buyer's journey. Think about the buyer's journey and the 30-day plan. Okay, 30-day challenge, not plan. Okay, and plan it out. Okay, plan it out. If you need to look at some of the. Also ask yourself who are your competitors. Not to copy them, but just see what they are doing, right? Ask yourself what is your USPs compared to your competitors. I think that's very important. If we don't know what our USPs are, or we know it and we don't communicate it, that's a big problem on our end. We are not good communicators when it comes to digital. Okay, we might be good communicators face to face, but we are not good communicators when it comes to digital. So ask yourself, how can you get started? Okay, and we go live at least once a week. So follow us on Facebook. We go live there at least once a week. Actually, we have been doing more than once a week. Okay, so if you have no other questions, I don't see it from the chat. Anything from you, Hassan?
No, I think it's really good. It's really good for me as well. Thank you very much, Xiaoming.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody. We actually exceeded quite a bit. It's 9:50. All right, so for those of you who haven't had dinner, do go and grab your dinner. All right, stay safe. I hope that this is COVID-19 is something that you write out stronger, write out, with a digital strategy, and getting not only started but getting more consistent and building your momentum on what we call the digital momentum to getting started. Okay, the momentum and all these habits take some time to build up. Science, I think they said 28 days. Okay, 21 or 28 days, I can't really remember, but just get started, and that's the reason why it's a 30-day challenge. Okay, so if you are interested to find out more, okay, this is my LinkedIn. You can scan and add me on LinkedIn. You can check out our website or our YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos. Okay, what I intend to do this week is to put something together, an email, and I will send it out to everyone. 3 videos for, I think at least 3 videos for Facebook, 3 videos for Instagram. If you have not set up your Facebook business page yet, I have that video. It's a 20-minute video, step by step, to get you started on your Facebook business page. Okay, so you can look out for that video. I hope to send it out by this weekend. And 3 videos for Instagram that you can watch. Okay, for those of you who have followed us on Facebook, you might already have those contents that we have done on Facebook. But these other videos that we're going to share is on YouTube, because I usually do go live and then fine tune it and then record it, edit it for our YouTube. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you all around. Okay, we hope to do another one. I think still thinking about what to do, but join us live. I think we'll probably create another live video to have some conversations there, but hopefully in the next week you can get started with some ideas, and that can be a point of conversation for us next week when we go live. All right, okay, thank you everybody.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Stay safe.